Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another thought provoking episode of the Sports Truth Thinking Outside the Batter's Box. All right, good day, sports fans. I am the Cleat Geek Mike Valentine, one half of the Sports Truth podcast that you can catch every Tuesday evening with myself and Gabriel Estrada. We will do that live, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. So depending on wherever you are, those are your times to catch us. If you want to do that as well, you can see it on YouTube, you can see it on Facebook, and you can see it on X. And all you have to remember for all three of those places is 643 and Out Guys Pod. That's right, because if you go to X, it's 643 and Out Pod. That's our handle. If you go to our YouTube account, it is 643 with and spelled out, A-N-D. And then if you go to Facebook, you guessed it, it's the same thing. 643 and Out Guys Pod. All right. Remember, when you go to YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. You'll never miss a live event like we're doing right now. And without further ado, here we go. Yesterday, we talked about the 25-man roster. We talked about a couple of other things as far as baseball-wise goes, and we said we would continue that conversation today. Right now, we'll talk about the 40-man roster, and we're going to talk about what it means to be DFA. Let's start with the 40-man roster. So the 40-man roster is different than the 26-man roster. Yeah, stupid. About 14 players different, right? But it's different than that, too. It's more different than that. So the 14 players are added up from players that you want to protect. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. And it's also players that you have on the IL or the injured list. And you can have those players on that if they're on the 7, 10, or 15-day IL, or again, the injured list. We'll get to something else with that here in a moment, but for the time being, 7, 10, and 15 days. Now, if a team wants to promote a player to the 20-man roster, they must first be on the 40-man roster. So if a club has a full 40-man roster and wants to promote someone up to the 26 that's not on either the 26 or the 40, then what they have to do is make a spot on that 40-man roster for them. And they can do that for, turn that around, 4 options, all right, like the Horseman. You can trade, you can release, you can, now we'll talk about the other, you can transfer an injured player that is already on the 7-day or 15 to the 60-day, or you can DFA them. Well, let's get into that conversation. So DFA it stands for designate for assignment. And we need to talk about option years first. Remember, we did that a little bit on yesterday's show. So if you missed that, just go back to our YouTube, to our Facebook, or to our X account here, and you can find those shows. It's really easy on our YouTube. So go there if you haven't got a chance to do it yet. So players typically have 3 years of options available, and they can be optioned up to 5 times per year. So when a player surpasses those 3 option years, they have to be DFA'd. The team has no choice, unless of course they trade them or just flat out release them. We'll talk about that in a moment, what the difference is. So once a player on an option assignment surpasses 20 days, then one of his option years is over. Remember yesterday we gave you the criteria of minor options and we said 20 days was one of them, and this is why. So it's all kind of circling the wagons together here, or, like I said yesterday, circling the bases together, and we're all starting to put all these things together. So 1 option year per season, 5 option times per season. My Ohio math tells me 100 days. Now, they can take a chance if no one claims them, and we'll talk about that next week. they can just flat out release them or do whatever. And again, we'll get to that. But if another player claims them when they put these guys on these waivers, then that team has to automatically put them on their 40-man roster. They have to have room, or they have to make a what's called a corresponding move. All right, and then they have to add them to their 40-man roster. But if the player clears waivers and no team claims them, they can then go down to the minor leagues of the team that put them on waivers in the beginning. Hope it's not too confusing for you. I wrote it all out, and I've said it to myself 3 or 4 times. I mean, I know what I'm talking about, but sometimes it's a little hard to relay it to you guys. So if I didn't do it very well, just chat me, put it in some chat, whatever you're at somewhere, and we'll be able to do that. So we're adding them to the 40-man roster. Now, if a player, there's like always a couple catches to this, right? There's a couple catches to this too. So if a player has 5 years or more major league service time, they can then reject that outright assignment and say, I don't want to go down to the minors again. I was up on the 40-man roster. I was that close to the 26-man roster, man. I was that close to making it, and I don't feel like starting down in AA again or in AAA again. So I just want to become a free agent, and we'll see if somebody else picks me up. And they have the ability to do that if that is what they want. So once again, we've done all of these things. We've given you the 40-man. We've given you the DFA stuff, and we still have a few questions left. Why would a team take a chance and just flat out release somebody? We'll talk about that next week. And why or why not would a player want to just become a minor league free agent? We'll do that too. I thank every one of you for being with us. And as all on this, it's not always about winning, but you have to want to win. Thank you all very much.